the story of the new house is just a story of God holding us by the hand.
And I believe God set up the new house parish to achieve a divine purpose. It's not just to tick a box.
The word in the new house, I would describe it as balanced.
Every time PGT preaches, it's a ministration. It's much more than a teaching session. It just feels like something is imparted into your spirit.
Honestly speaking, my life has really taken a new turn. I'm at home, I'm at rest.
I cannot underestimate what God has done through Pastor Benga Takure, Pastor Wura, and the whole new house leadership team.
All the battles I've had to fight, I've just had to cruise on the new house, and the new house just takes me there.
Fulfilling calling is something that God has given us in the new house, and we have seen so many people over the years that God has ensured that they fulfill their calling in their own individual industries.
My growing up, not really sat down to discuss about it, but I'm like a third generation Christian. My grandmother was CAC. He had only 2 children, a boy and a girl. So my dad was the only son. She was in CAC. My father was born into CAC, grew up in CAC. The same way brought us up in that manner.
We always do morning devotion in our house and night, every day. They know that 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock, we have to be up for the prayer. That's how we raised them all the way when they were small.
In our church, I'm a member of Christ Apostolic. I have a lot of spiritual elders or even prophets that go around having this revival. They normally stay in my house at Inupeju. So when they come, it's around with them. I notice in him when he wants to pray, he normally prays longer than other people and with many points. I knew that, okay, he will be called.
I kind of had a pull to God at a very, very early age. That pull to God was personal. It was something I would talk about because I knew that it was something different. A particular year was to come and I wasn't preached to. I just knew that it's time to close the books of the world and come to God. I just felt it very strongly in my heart, and so when I said I was going for God, I knew I was going for God. Everything I left, friends I felt that could derail me, I left them and I went for God. At that time, I was going to a church called Grace Chapel.
I think everything started in 1992 when he came to our church. I preached that day according to the pastor himself. He got saved. He said he saw a man preaching Jesus with passion, with and he desired that he's going to be like this man. But right from that time, I became very close to him, that he made up his mind to serve God. He had never looked back.
I was in school, I think University of Jos, then my final year when I heard he had given his life to Christ. About that time, I also gave my life to Christ. So once I came back, I knew he was born again. I said, I've also surrendered to Christ. Then he took me to our foundational church, Grace Chapel then. And that's where we started worshiping. And we're doing a lot of fasting, and we grew together to know the things of God.
I kind of grew in the word, grew there, I could minister. So as a young person, I was already doing all that.
He was a man of covenant. He was a man that God has his hand upon from childhood. From the first day he got to the church and got saved, his level of dedication has been wonderful.
I got married. We started worshiping at the City of David. After some time, he joined the workforce.
I met Pastor Benga Takure in the City of David. We were in the prayer department together. We prayed together.
You could see that he had a calling because Yes, I was the head of a subgroup. I'll do the regular prayers we're supposed to do, and then the Holy Spirit will begin to move. And he did a lot of the prayers.
Particularly grateful to Pastor Remi Olumuyiwa. He gave both of us the opportunity to minister on the pulpit. And I remember the first time we were invited to minister in a vigil. A lot of pastors came around and said, we did not realize that we had such potential in the prayer department.
We had a prayer for every Monday for over 1 year, non-stop, not a single vigil every Monday. There, Pastor Dapo joined, Pastor Kuluri Ofe joined, some other people joined, and it was a powerful, wonderful time. During that time, we were able to know each other's strengths and grace. Pastor Chinena said she was in fellowship in Ikoyi, and that she moved to Lekki. That part we're going to Ikoyi for our fellowship, that she would like to have a fellowship in Lekki. And I was living in Lekki, so Pastor Topoluka and I said, let's have a fellowship in your house. That's how it was just like a suggestion to meet someone's need.
We'd started the house fellowship, so there were 3 of us. And at that time, I was also pregnant with my daughter, Angela.
It was a small fellowship, but God did great things that we're excited to share with other people. So we started talking about this. People started hearing things that we were doing, things that were happening. And they started coming. We did what a lot of churches could not do. We had vigils, we had crusades, we had outreaches, medical outreaches, we visited orphanages.
God was in our midst. I guess maybe the name also has a part to play in it. The house of prayer. We always have special guests. People come in, people receive healings, people are blessed, people get jobs, diverse testimonies.
From the first day I entered that house fellowship, I knew this will eventually become a church.
They had a vigil. I think the vigil was the first one I went for. And then at the vigil, I remember that Pastor Kule had given a word. He said something was going to happen the next day, and I think literally it happened, but I just ignored it, to be honest with you. I went for the fellowship, it was okay, and then the fellowship was kind of alive, very vibrant. They do a lot of prayers. After they finish with the house fellowship, they do a lot of prayers and all of that. So it's very, very alive.
We're overflowing.
The deep call it onto deep. There were some people that were just hungry for pure serving and loving God. There wasn't, we weren't doing anything different and just hungry for God. The atmosphere was available for people that had passion for whatever they had passion. We had Uche. She had passion for homeless home and the needy. So we set up that department, let her run it. So she would go orphanages and all that, make arrangements with them. We started going to orphanages almost every month. We're doing evangelism every week. We do evangelism every week. We do evangelism every Saturday.
It was almost like a church. In fact, that was one of the reasons why we became a church, because a few people will come to our fellowship and say, you people have become ETT church, saying it in Yoruba, you guys are a church already, you would hear those comments. And Pastor Gbenga, the thing that really drew me to him was he was serious about it, even as house fellowship leader. He was already behaving like a pastor. In
the midst of all that, I was just called one day that they were thinking of setting up a church and all that. I wasn't interested, simply because it wasn't that maybe I heard from God, oh, you're going to start a work. So it wasn't like my idea. It was a church idea. Church had a plan. They already had a youth church. They now said they wanted a church that was not a youth church, yet it wasn't an adult church. They wanted something in between. So they had planned it. So they were just looking for who would fit in for that. When they came, I was like, why me? And along the line, so God started confirming to me that it was His will. So in my life, I was sure that yes, God had a hand in it. Then I said, okay, no problem. Let's give it the best we can.